This week we will finally have the Rolex 24 at Daytona, which will be the season opener of IMSA Weathertech Sportscar Championship in 2024. In this video, I will tell 10 storylines which you must take a look at for this race. So let's check them now. Number 1, Ford is back. After being absent for 4 years, the Blue Oval Company is returning to the IMSA Weathertech Sportscar Championship at GT classes with a brand new Mustang GT3 car. At the Rolex 24 race, we're going to see 3 Mustangs competing at Daytona by 2 teams, which are Ford Multimatic Motorsports with 2 cars at GTD Pro class and the third one by Proton Competition at GTD. It's going to be very exciting for the sports car fans to see Ford back on the tracks, and we hope to see them very competitive, fighting strongly for the victories. Number 2, more new brand GT3 cars are also joining the game. Ford Mustang GT3 is not the only brand new GT3 car for the IMSA 2024 season. Aston Martin and Chevrolet are also debuting their new models for this year. First, the Aston Martin case. This is not exactly a totally brand new car because the English manufacturer is actually debuting an Evo version of Aston Martin Vantage AMR GT3 car with some upgrades in its body kit. Heart of Racing and Magnus Racing will be the only team operators this year at IMSA. And another brand new car is the Corvette Z06 GT3R car. With the end of GTE cars at WEC and IMSA, Chevrolet had to build a GT3 car to keep competing in both categories. Corvette Z06 GT3R comes to repeat its predecessor C8R success, and GM has big claims to be GTD Pro and GTD champions for next year's. Number 3, 9 women drivers competing at Rolex 24. The 2024 edition of Rolex 24 at Daytona will have 9 female drivers competing at the IMSA season opener, which is the record in the history of the race. This is very significant for women's motorsport, which is growing in recent years, especially at sports car racings. We're going to have 1 woman at the LMP2 class and 8 at the GTD. So let's check now who they are. At the LMP2 class, Lilo Wadu is the only female driver and will be competing for the Richard Mille AF course number 88. At the GTD class, Ashton Harrison will be racing for the number 45 Wayne Taylor Racing with Andretti with a Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo 2, Catherine Legge, Sheena Monk and Tatiana Calderon at Gradient Racing number 66 with Acura NSX GT3 Evo 22, and Michelle Gadding, Rahel Fry, Sarah Bovey and Dorian Pun at number 83 Iron Dames with a Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo 2. Number 4, LMP2 and GTD Pro have a great increase in the number of cars. With the end of LMP3 class at IMSA and of LMP2 at WEC, and with the arrival of Mustang GT3, it was inevitable that the LMP2 and GTD Pro would have an increase in the number of cars. Starting with the LMP2 case. United Autosports decided to move to the IMSA this year with 2 cars after WEC decided to end the LMP2 class at the end of 2023 season. Inter Europol Competition is another 2023 WEC LMP2 team which is moving to IMSA, but they are making a partnership with PR1 Mathiasen Motorsports number 52. And coming from LMP3, Sean Creech Motorsport and Riley are also joining the LMP2 class this year. And now the GTD Pro. This class had an increase in the number of cars because Pratt Miller Motorsports decided to have 2 cars, Ford decided to return, and Paul Miller Racing, AO Racing and Iron Lynx decided to move to the GTD Pro class. And with that, we're going to have 13 cars at LMP2 and 13 at GTD Pro class this year at Rolex 24 at Daytona. In the 2023 edition, we had 10 cars at LMP2 and 10 at GTD Pro class. Number 5, 14 IndyCar drivers will be competing at the Rolex 24 race. At Rolex 24 this weekend, we're going to have 14 IndyCar drivers competing, which means that half of the current grid will be racing at Daytona. So let's know all of them. First, at the GTP class. There will be 6 IndyCar drivers competing at the IMSA Top class. At 01 Cadillac Racing, there will be 2 IndyCar drivers competing. The first one is the 6-time IndyCar champion and 2008 Indy 500 winner Scott Dixon. And the second driver is the current 2-time IndyCar champion Alex Palou. It's going to be the first time that the Spaniard driver will be racing at the GTP class. At Porsche Penske number 7, the current Indy 500 winner Josef Newgarden will be competing there with a Porsche 963 car. The fourth IndyCar driver confirmed is the 2022 Indy 500 winner Marcus Ericsson at Wayne Taylor Racing with Andretti car number 10 at Acura ARX06. The fifth IndyCar driver confirmed is Tom Blomqvist at number 31 Whelen Cadillac Action Express Racing. And the sixth IndyCar driver confirmed is Colton Herta at number 40 Wayne Taylor Racing with Andretti at Acura ARX06. Now the LMP2 class. There will be 5 IndyCar drivers competing in the secondary prototype class. The first one is Pato Howard on number 2 United Autosports. The second one is Scott McLaughlin on number 8 Tower Motorsports. The third IndyCar driver at LMP2 class is Christian Ramussen in number 18 Era Motorsport. The fourth driver is Felix Rosenqvist on number 22 United Autosports. And the fifth IndyCar driver competing at LMP2 class is Kyffin Simpson at number 81 Dragon Speed USA. And finally at GTD Pro class. There will be 3 IndyCar drivers competing there. The first name is Alexander Rossi, who will be competing at the car number 9 Pfaff Motorsports with McLaren 720S GT3 Evo. The second name is Kyle Kirkwood at the car number 14 Vassar Sullivan with Lexus RC FGT3. And the last name is Romain Grosjean at the car 60 Iron Lynx with Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo 2. Number 6. 2 Formula 1 legends join the Rolex 24 lineup. At Rolex 24 this weekend, we're going to have Jenson Button and Felipe Massa competing at Daytona. Button and Massa are very known for competing for long years at Formula 1 for almost 20 seasons, considering that the British driver was 2009 champion with Braun GP and won 15 races in his career. Button at Daytona will be competing for Wayne Taylor with Andretti number 40 with Acura ARX06 at the GTP class. Massa was runner-up at the controversial 2008 season with Ferrari and won 11 races in his career at Formula 1. The Brazilian driver will be competing for Riley number 74 LMP2 class with his fellow driver Felipe Fraga. Number 7. Will Acura be struggling at Daytona? In the last 3 editions of Rolex 24 at Daytona, Acura was the overall winner 3 times in a row and is chasing the 4th victory this year. But during sessions at Roar, Acura struggled with its pace due to having the heaviest car with 1,072 kilograms because of balance of performance. Among the 6 practice sessions held last weekend, the best Acura's result was 4th place at Session 2 and Session 5 with car number 10. And during the qualifying session, the number 10 finished in 6th position and the number 40 was 5th. Obviously, we must remember that practice is totally different compared to the race. Considering that Rolex 24 is a 24 hours race, everything can happen, and besides being hard for Acura to win this weekend at Daytona, we must not discard them. Number 8. Will BMW and Porsche fight strongly for the victory at Daytona? BMW and Porsche returned to the top prototype class last year, and both once struggled with many mechanical issues during the 2023 season. After a first learning year, the both German manufacturers are more ready to fight strongly for the victories this season. Starting with the BMW case. The Munich brand has only a single Daytona victory, which was in 1976 with 3.0 CSL. After a very struggling 2023 Rolex 24 edition, BMW comes too much better for this year. During practice sessions at Roar, at least the car 25 showed a great performance, being very consistent, finishing at top 3 positions in 5 of 6 sessions last week. Because of that, we must not discard BMW for winning contenders at Daytona. And about Porsche, the most winner at Daytona in history wants to end a 21-year streak without winning at overall position. The Stuttgart manufacturer brings some updates at 963 cars, looking to be more competitive. During the practice sessions at Roar last week, Porsche Penske showed potential to fight for the victory, and we need to consider that the number 6 car has a very strong lineup with Nick Tandy, Matthew Jaminet, Kevin Estrie, and Lawrence Vanthoor. So we must take a look at the Porsche at Rolex 24. Number 9. We must take a look at the GTP Privateer teams. There will be 2 Privateer teams at the GTP class, which are number 5 Proton Competition and number 85 JDC Miller Motorsports, and the both teams will use Porsche 963. Besides, they aren't factory operations. Proton Competition and JDC Miller have great pretensions to be strong at the top class and to become the first privateer team to win the top prototype class since the LMDH cars were introduced. Last Saturday, the number 85 JDC Miller showed a great potential with a P2 at Session 3 and the first position at Session 4. With a solid lineup, it's a team we must take a look at and will fight at least for the podium. And about the 5 Proton Competition, besides not testing the car since 8 hours of Bahrain at WEC, the German team has a very strong lineup with Neil Yanni, Gianmaria Bruni, Romain Dumas, and Alessio Picariello. And during the race, they can eventually fight for the first positions. Number 10. How strong is Cadillac at Daytona? During the Royal Week, Cadillac had a very strong performance, especially last Saturday and Sunday. And because of that, the number 31 Whelen Cadillac Racing was pole position and the 01 was second position at qualifying session. Theoretically, Caddy is the strongest contender to win Rolex 24 at Daytona, but we must remember that in a 24-hour race, everything can happen. So these are the 10 storylines for the Rolex 24 race. Who is going to win the first IMSA round in 2024? Which team and drivers are you going to support this weekend? So tell me your opinion in the comment sections below. And don't forget to subscribe to not lose more videos about IMSA and WEC. We see you in the next videos.